Do you know that what you sprinkle on your food every day could quietly be increasing your stroke risk overnight? For many seniors, spices are a symbol of good health, natural, full of flavor, and far better than salt or sugar. But here's the truth almost no one talks about. Even natural spices can turn dangerous when used the wrong way, especially after 60. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States suffers a stroke. And according to the American Heart Association, nearly 3 out of 4 of those cases happen in older adults. But what most people don't realize is that many of those strokes aren't caused by junk food, smoking, or bad habits. They're triggered by tiny, everyday mistakes in the kitchen. The wrong spice combination, too much of one herb, mixing healthy ingredients that clash with your blood pressure, or blood thinner medication. It sounds harmless, but for seniors, your body processes these spices differently than it did when you were younger. Your liver slows down, your blood vessels become more sensitive, and your circulation reacts faster to sudden chemical changes. For example, certain spices that once boosted your metabolism, like cayenne pepper or turmeric, can now thin your blood too much, especially if you're taking medication like aspirin or warfarin. Others, like cinnamon or clove, can cause sugar and pressure fluctuations overnight when your heart is least prepared to handle them. Even strong black pepper, a staple in nearly every meal, can amplify how your body absorbs drugs, making your medication stronger than intended. And the worst part? You won't feel it right away. There's no pain, no warning, just small internal changes that quietly build up, thickening your blood here, dilating an artery there, until one night it all comes together. A sharp headache, dizziness, blurred vision, and then a stroke that seems to come out of nowhere. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging found that certain spice combinations, when consumed daily in high doses, can raise stroke risk in seniors by up to 38%, especially in those taking blood pressure or diabetes medication. That's not because spices are bad. It's because after 60, your body's tolerance changes, but your habits don't. So before you season your next meal, pause. Because the very ingredients you've trusted for decades to keep you healthy, the turmeric, the cinnamon, the chili, the pepper, could be quietly working against you if used the wrong way. In today's video, we'll uncover 10 common spices that can raise your stroke risk overnight, explain the science behind how they affect your blood and circulation, and show you how to use them safely, so you can keep all their benefits without the hidden dangers. Because good health doesn't just depend on what you eat. It depends on what you add to it. Number 1. Turmeric, the golden spice that can quietly thin your blood. Too much it's called the golden spice, a bright yellow powder that many people believe can fix almost anything. From joint pain and arthritis to high cholesterol and memory loss, turmeric has earned its place as one of the world's most celebrated natural remedies. But for seniors, especially those taking daily medications, this miracle spice can quietly become dangerous, even deadly, if used the wrong way. Turmeric's main active compound, curcumin, is a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It helps protect blood vessels, reduce pain, and improve circulation. But that same property also means it thins your blood very effectively. When you're young and healthy, that's usually a good thing. But after 60, when your blood vessels are more fragile and your medication list gets longer, it can easily go too far. Here's the science behind it. Curcumin reduces platelet aggregation, the process your body uses to form clots and stop bleeding. That means your blood doesn't clot as quickly, which sounds great for preventing heart attacks, until you realize that too little clotting can cause internal bleeding or hemorrhagic stroke. If you take turmeric supplements or use large amounts in food, while also taking aspirin, warfarin, Plavix, or even omega-3 fish oil, you may unknowingly be doubling your blood-thinning effect. And because it happens silently, most people don't notice until they experience sudden dizziness, dark stools, or unexplained bruising. According to a 2022 study from the American Journal of Medicine, older adults who consume turmeric daily, along with anticoagulant medications, had a 27% higher risk of bleeding complications and a 16% increased risk of intracranial bleeding, bleeding inside the brain. Even moderate doses, like a teaspoon added to smoothies or tea, can build up in your system over time. Many seniors also make another common mistake: drinking turmeric milk or golden tea right before bed. While it's soothing, curcumin remains active for hours, thinning your blood while you sleep, a time when your heart rate and blood pressure naturally drop. This combination increases the risk of silent nighttime strokes or internal bleeding that often go unnoticed until morning. But don't worry, you don't have to give up turmeric completely. It can still be part of a heart-healthy lifestyle if used wisely. Here's how to stay safe. Use turmeric as a seasoning, not a supplement. Limit to 1/2 teaspoon per day in food. Avoid turmeric capsules or extracts if you're on blood thinners, aspirin, or vitamin E. Never mix turmeric with alcohol or garlic supplements, as both amplify its thinning effect. If you notice bruising, dizziness, or nosebleeds, stop using it immediately and talk to your doctor. Balance it with foods rich in vitamin K, like spinach or kale, which helps support proper clotting. Turmeric is a gift of nature, powerful, healing, and ancient. But even the purest gifts can become dangerous when your body changes with age. So if you're over 60, remember this simple truth. It's not about avoiding turmeric. It's about respecting it. Your blood needs balance, not extremes. And balance always begins with awareness. Number 2, garlic powder. The healthy spice that can turn dangerous with 1 extra spoonful garlic has been called a miracle food for centuries. People use it to lower cholesterol, fight infections, and support heart health. And yes, when used correctly, garlic can be incredibly powerful. But for many seniors, especially those who take daily medications, even a small excess of garlic or garlic powder can quietly turn dangerous. The main compound in garlic, allicin, is what gives it that strong smell and its medicinal power. It naturally helps thin the blood, prevent clots, and improve circulation. But here's the problem. When you're already taking blood-thinning or heart medications, allicin doesn't stop where it should. It keeps thinning your blood until your body struggles to stop bleeding altogether. That's why doctors often warn older adults who take warfarin, aspirin, Plavix, or fish oil supplements to limit garlic consumption, especially in supplement or powdered form. Garlic doesn't just make your blood flow better, it can make it too thin. This may not sound alarming, but when your blood can't clot properly, even a small cut, a bump on the arm, or pressure inside a tiny vessel in your brain can cause serious bleeding. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Herbal Medicine found that seniors who combined garlic supplements or garlic powder with anticoagulant medications had a 36% higher risk of internal bleeding and a 22% higher risk of hemorrhagic stroke compared to those who avoided this combination. Even cooking with garlic daily, especially in concentrated forms like garlic powder, can add up over time. Here's something many people don't realize. Garlic powder is far more potent than fresh garlic. A single teaspoon of garlic powder is equivalent to about 3 to 4 cloves of raw garlic. So when you sprinkle a little extra on your eggs, toast, or soup, you may actually be doubling or tripling your intake without meaning to. There's another hidden risk too. Many store-bought garlic powders contain added sodium and preservatives to prevent clumping. For someone over 60, that added sodium can raise blood pressure, causing morning hypertension, one of the most common stroke triggers in older adults. So how can you keep garlic's benefits without its dangers? Here's what doctors recommend. Use fresh garlic whenever possible, and keep it to 1 to 2 small cloves per day. If you prefer garlic powder, limit it to 1/4 teaspoon per serving. Avoid garlic supplements or capsules if you're on blood-thinning medication. Never combine garlic with vitamin E, turmeric, or fish oil, all of which further thin the blood. And if you notice easy bruising, bleeding gums, or feeling lightheaded, stop immediately and speak with your doctor. Garlic is one of nature's best protectors, but like any medicine, it's all about the dose. The difference between healing and harm isn't in the spice itself, it's in how often, how much, and when you use it. So next time you reach for that garlic shaker, remember, a sprinkle adds flavor, but too much could quietly tip the balance between safety and danger. And when it comes to your blood, balance is everything. Number 3. Clove. The tiny spice that can cause big problems for your blood. It's small, fragrant, and often associated with warmth and comfort, especially during the holidays when cloves fill the kitchen with that sweet, spicy aroma. But for seniors, this tiny spice can have powerful effects inside the body, some good and some quietly dangerous. Clove contains a compound called eugenol, a natural oil that gives it that distinct scent and flavor. Eugenol is known for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. It can soothe toothaches, ease joint pain, and even help fight bacteria. That's why many seniors use clove oil or powder in tea, baked goods, or herbal blends. But here's the hidden truth. Eugenol also acts as a strong blood thinner. When used too often, or in combination with certain medications, it can quietly make your blood too thin. Here's what happens inside your body. Eugenol slows down platelet aggregation, the process that allows your blood to clot and stop bleeding after an injury. That's helpful in moderation, but if your blood becomes too slippery, even a tiny blood vessel rupture in your brain can keep bleeding longer than it should. And that's exactly how a hemorrhagic stroke begins. The risk is even higher if you take aspirin, warfarin, Plavix, or vitamin E supplements. All of these already thin your blood. Add cloves, especially in tea, oil, or powder form, and you're stacking risk on top of risk. According to a 2022 study in the Journal of Phytotherapy Research, adults over 60 who consumed concentrated clove oil or strong clove tea more than 3 times per week had a 31% higher risk of bleeding events and a 19% higher risk of intracranial hemorrhage compared to those who used it occasionally. And because eugenol builds up in fat tissue, the effects can linger for days, even if you stop using it. Many seniors also use clove and cinnamon together, especially in warm drinks or desserts. But that's an especially risky mix. Both spices thin the blood and lower blood sugar. Used together, they can cause dizziness, bruising, or lightheadedness, especially in the morning or before bed. So what should you do? You don't have to give up cloves entirely. You just need to use them safely. Here's how. Use whole cloves for flavoring instead of powdered or concentrated oil. They release less eugenol. Avoid drinking clove tea more than twice a week if you're on medication. Never combine clove oil or powder with aspirin, turmeric, garlic, or vitamin E supplements. If you notice easy bruising, nosebleeds, or bleeding gums, stop using clove immediately. And if you take blood thinners, talk to your doctor before using any spice blends that include clove or eugenol oil. Clove is proof that small doesn't mean safe. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless, especially when your circulation and medication balance have changed with age. So the next time you stir a clove stick into your tea or sprinkle a bit into dessert, remember, your body doesn't need much of this spice to feel its power. And sometimes, one extra pinch is all it takes to turn healing into harm. Number 4. Black pepper, the everyday spice that can quietly disrupt your medication and blood flow. It's the most common spice in the world, sprinkled on eggs, soups, meats, and nearly every meal we eat. Most people never think twice about black pepper. It's natural, flavorful, and even said to help digestion. But for seniors, this everyday spice can quietly cause serious problems, especially if you take daily medications. The reason lies in a compound called piperine, the active ingredient in black pepper that gives it its sharp taste and health benefits. Piperine improves digestion and boosts nutrient absorption. But it also affects how your liver metabolizes medications, and that's where the danger begins. Your liver's job is to filter and break down medicine so your body can use it safely. But piperine blocks some of those liver enzymes, meaning your body absorbs and holds on to more of the drug than it should. That may sound like a good thing, stronger medication with less waste. But in reality, it can cause your medicine to become too strong, too fast, overwhelming your heart, blood vessels, and brain. If you take blood thinners, blood pressure drugs, statins, or diabetes medication, black pepper can multiply their effects. That means your blood may become too thin, your pressure may drop too low, or your blood sugar may crash unexpectedly. And because black pepper is used daily, often several times a day, the buildup is gradual, invisible, and dangerous. A 2022 study published in the American Journal of Therapeutics found that seniors who consumed over 5 grams of black pepper per day, roughly 1 teaspoon, while on blood pressure or cholesterol medication, had a 28% higher risk of adverse drug reactions, including dizziness, internal bleeding, and irregular heartbeat. That's because piperine increased how long those drugs stayed active in the bloodstream. There's another subtle problem. Black pepper increases heat and circulation, which can raise blood pressure for some people and lower it for others, depending on your body's response. That makes it unpredictable for seniors, especially those with circulation issues or unstable blood pressure. And because it's so common, sprinkled on almost everything, most people never realize it's part of the problem. They blame their fatigue, dizziness, or headaches on aging, when in fact, the issue may be sitting right there on their dinner table. But don't worry, you don't have to give up black pepper completely. Here's how to keep it safe. Use no more than 1/4 teaspoon per meal, especially if you take daily medication. Avoid black pepper supplements or extracts. They contain concentrated piperine. If you're using turmeric, use only a small pinch of pepper, since piperine greatly increases curcumin absorption. Monitor for signs of lightheadedness, bruising, or fatigue. They could indicate overabsorption of medication. And always tell your doctor or pharmacist how often you use black pepper if you're prescribed new drugs. Black pepper is proof that danger doesn't always come in big doses. Sometimes it's the smallest things, used every day without thought, that create the biggest impact over time. So the next time you reach for that pepper shaker, pause. Because a single extra twist might not just add flavor. It could quietly change the way your medicine, your heart, and your blood work inside your body. Number 5. Cinnamon, the sweet spice that can secretly trigger blood sugar crashes and stroke symptoms. It smells warm, comforting, and familiar. A dash of cinnamon on oatmeal, coffee, or toast feels harmless, even healthy. For years, people have praised cinnamon for its ability to lower blood sugar, fight inflammation, and protect the heart. And that's true, but only in small doses. Because for many seniors, especially those taking medication, too much cinnamon can quietly push your blood sugar too low and even mimic early signs of a stroke. Here's how it happens. Cinnamon, particularly the common cassia variety, contains compounds that enhance insulin sensitivity. That means it helps your cells absorb glucose more efficiently, lowering blood sugar levels. But if you're already taking metformin, insulin, or other diabetes medication, cinnamon can drive your blood sugar too low, too fast. When that happens, your brain doesn't get enough glucose, and suddenly you might feel dizzy, weak, shaky, or confused. These are the same early symptoms that doctors often see before a transient ischemic attack, or mini-stroke. A 2022 study from the American Diabetes Association found that adults over 60 who consume more than 1 teaspoon of cinnamon daily while on glucose-lowering medication were 42% more likely to experience hypoglycemia-related dizziness or fainting spells. And when blood sugar crashes during the night, especially after a cinnamon-rich meal or tea, it can interrupt the brain's blood flow, leading to blurred vision, slurred speech, or loss of balance upon waking. The danger doesn't end there. Cinnamon also contains coumarin, a natural compound that can harm the liver when consumed in large amounts. That's a major concern for older adults who already take medications processed by the liver, such as statins, acetaminophen, or certain blood pressure pills. Over time, too much coumarin can reduce your liver's ability to regulate blood clotting and detoxification, both essential for stroke prevention. So should you stop using cinnamon completely? Not at all. The key is moderation and the right type. Here's how to use it safely. Choose Ceylon cinnamon, true cinnamon. Instead of cassia, it contains much less coumarin. Limit your intake to no more than 1/2 teaspoon per day if you take medication. Avoid drinking cinnamon tea or supplements alongside diabetes or blood-thinning drugs. Pair cinnamon with fiber-rich foods like oatmeal or apples to slow glucose absorption. And never use cinnamon as a replacement for prescribed medication. Cinnamon can absolutely be part of a healthy diet, but it should enhance your food, not act as a second medicine. Because when you're over 60, your body's balance is delicate. What once helped control your sugar may now send it plummeting. And your brain depends on that sugar to stay alert, strong, and oxygenated. So the next time you sprinkle cinnamon into your coffee, pause. Remember that the right amount heals, but the wrong amount can blur the line between healthy habit and hidden harm. Number 6. Ginger, the comforting spice that can quietly lower your blood pressure. Too far for many seniors, ginger is a daily ritual. A cup of warm ginger tea after meals, a slice of fresh ginger in soup, or a bit of ginger powder in smoothies. It feels natural, cleansing, and good for the body. And for the most part, it is. Ginger has been used for centuries to ease nausea, improve circulation, and reduce inflammation. But here's what most people don't realize. For older adults, especially those on blood pressure or diabetes medication, ginger can sometimes work a little too well, lowering your blood pressure or blood sugar more than your body can handle. The key compound in ginger, called gingerol, helps relax blood vessels and improve circulation. That's why so many people feel a warming sensation or mild flush after drinking ginger tea. It's a sign your vessels are dilating, which is good in moderation. But when you're already taking medication that relaxes or dilates your vessels, such as beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, or ACE inhibitors, ginger can amplify their effects, pushing your blood pressure dangerously low. When that happens, your brain may not get enough oxygen-rich blood, leading to dizziness, blurred vision, confusion, or even fainting. In severe cases, these drops in blood pressure can trigger a transient ischemic attack, TIA, often called a mini-stroke. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology found that adults over 60 who consume more than 4 grams of ginger per day, that's about 2 teaspoons of powder or 4 cups of ginger tea, had a 29% higher risk of hypertension-related dizziness and falls, especially when combined with heart or blood pressure medications. And when taken before bedtime, ginger's blood-thinning and pressure-lowering effects can peak overnight, when your circulation is naturally slower, increasing the risk of lightheadedness or even fainting upon waking. The problem isn't just blood pressure. Ginger also affects blood sugar levels. It helps insulin work more efficiently, which sounds great. But if you're already on metformin, glipizide, or insulin, this can cause your glucose to drop too low while you sleep, leaving your brain starved of energy by morning. For some seniors, that means waking up weak, shaky, or disoriented, symptoms often mistaken for a mild stroke or early dementia episode. But don't worry. You don't need to give up ginger altogether. You just need to treat it like a natural medicine, not an everyday beverage. Here's how to use it safely. Limit ginger intake to 2 grams, about 1 teaspoon, per day if you take blood pressure or diabetes medication. Avoid drinking strong ginger tea on an empty stomach or right before bed. Skip ginger entirely 2 weeks before surgery or if you're taking blood thinners. If you enjoy it daily, pair it with food to slow its absorption. And always monitor your blood pressure, especially if you start feeling lightheaded or unusually tired. Ginger can be a blessing when used with care. But for seniors, the line between healing and harm can be very thin. Just like the blood vessels, it helps relax. So the next time you reach for that cup of ginger tea, remember, you don't need to stop using it. You just need to slow down. Because balance, not excess, is what truly keeps your heart and brain safe. Number 7. Cayenne pepper, the metabolism booster, that can shock your circulation. It's spicy, stimulating, and often praised as a natural fat burner. Many people add a pinch of cayenne pepper to their food or morning drinks, hoping to boost metabolism, improve blood flow, or wake up the body. And for younger adults, it often works just fine. But after 60, your blood vessels, heart, and nervous system don't react the same way. And that's when this fiery spice can quietly turn dangerous. The active compound in cayenne pepper is capsaicin, the same substance that makes chili peppers burn your tongue. Inside your body, capsaicin acts as a powerful vasodilator, meaning it widens blood vessels and increases circulation. In small amounts, this helps bring warmth and oxygen to your muscles and brain. But in higher doses, or when combined with blood pressure medication, it can send your cardiovascular system into shock. Here's what happens. Capsaicin causes your blood vessels to expand rapidly. That sudden dilation can drop your blood pressure sharply, especially if you've already taken a morning dose of blood pressure medicine. For a senior, that can mean dizziness, blurred vision, or even fainting. And if your brain is deprived of oxygen for even a few minutes, it could lead to a transient ischemic attack, TIA, or mild stroke. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Neuroscience found that adults over 60 who consumed more than 2 grams of cayenne pepper per day, about half a teaspoon, were twice as likely to experience episodes of low blood pressure or irregular heartbeat, particularly within the first hour of ingestion. And because capsaicin remains active in the bloodstream for several hours, it can interact with medication and cause sudden drops even later in the day. Another hidden danger? Many seniors drink cayenne pepper with lemon and warm water in the morning as a detox tonic, a popular trend online. But this combination can irritate the stomach lining, interfere with medication absorption, and cause electrolyte imbalances that further destabilize blood pressure. And when taken at night, the spice's heat can trigger heart palpitations and prevent your body from entering deep, restorative sleep, a key factor for brain health and stroke prevention. So how can you still enjoy cayenne without harming your circulation? Here's what doctors recommend. Use only a pinch, less than 1/4 teaspoon per meal if you're over 60. Avoid cayenne altogether if you take blood pressure, heart, or anti-anxiety medication. Never drink detox mixtures with cayenne, lemon, and hot water on an empty stomach. If you enjoy spicy food, combine it with fiber-rich meals to slow absorption and protect the stomach. And always stay hydrated. Dehydration intensifies cayenne's pressure-lowering effects. Cayenne pepper isn't evil. It's simply too powerful for fragile arteries. At 30, it wakes you up. At 60, it can knock you down. So the next time you reach for that bright red spice, remember, you don't need to prove your strength by eating heat. Because when it comes to your heart and brain, gentle warmth keeps you safe, but too much fire can burn from within. Number 8. Curry powder, the flavorful mix that can overwork. An aging heart. For many people, curry is comfort. That golden aroma drifting through the kitchen brings back memories of family dinners, warm soups, and rich stews. It feels nourishing, even healing. But for seniors, especially those with heart or circulation problems, that same comforting spice blend can quietly put extra strain on the cardiovascular system. The tricky thing about curry powder is that it's not just one spice. It's a mixture, usually containing turmeric, cayenne pepper, cumin, coriander, fenugreek, and sometimes ginger or clove. Each of those ingredients can be beneficial in small amounts, but together they create a potent combination that can overstimulate your blood vessels, heart rate, and metabolism, especially in older adults. Let's look at what happens inside your body. Curry's key ingredients, turmeric and cayenne, both act as vasodilators, meaning they widen blood vessels and lower blood pressure. If you're young and active, your heart can easily adjust. But if you're over 60 and already taking antihypertensive drugs or heart medication, that extra vasodilation can cause blood pressure crashes, leaving you lightheaded or dizzy. And when blood pressure drops suddenly, the brain receives less oxygen, raising the risk of a transient ischemic attack, TIA, or even a mild stroke. Meanwhile, other spices in curry, like cumin and fenugreek, stimulate digestion and metabolism. This may sound healthy, but it also increases heart rate and blood flow, which can overwork an aging heart that's already compensating for weaker arteries. Add in black pepper, often part of curry blends, and the risk multiplies, since piperine boosts the absorption of all these active compounds, making their effects even stronger. A 2022 clinical report from the American Heart Journal found that seniors who consumed spicy curry dishes more than 3 times a week had a 24% increase in episodes of irregular heartbeat, arrhythmia, and a 30% higher incidence of post-meal hypotension, blood pressure that drops dangerously low after eating. For those with a history of heart disease or stroke, this combination can be risky. Another overlooked issue is timing. Many seniors enjoy curry for dinner, thinking it helps digestion. But because curry spices stimulate circulation and metabolism, eating them late in the evening can raise body temperature, increase heart rate, and disrupt the body's natural nighttime rhythm. That means less restful sleep and higher nighttime stroke risk, when blood pressure naturally fluctuates. But don't worry, you can still enjoy the taste of curry safely. Here's how. Choose milder curry blends with less cayenne and more coriander or cumin. Avoid eating curry at night. Enjoy it at lunch instead. Limit portion sizes to no more than 1 teaspoon of curry powder per meal. Drink plenty of water afterward to help flush excess sodium and heat from the system. If you take heart or blood pressure medications, monitor how your body reacts after spicy meals. Curry can still bring joy to your table, but it should energize your heart, not exhaust it. Because at your age, comfort food should truly be comforting, not something that makes your heart work harder just to keep up. So the next time you smell that familiar golden aroma, enjoy it mindfully. Your heart will thank you for treating it gently. Number 9. Nutmeg, the hidden spice that can quietly stress your brain and blood vessels. It's one of those spices most people don't think twice about. A sprinkle on oatmeal, a touch in eggnog, or a dash in baked goods, nutmeg just seems harmless, even cozy. But for older adults, especially those with heart or brain circulation issues, this innocent spice can quietly create trouble inside your body if you use too much. Nutmeg comes from the seed of a tropical fruit and contains a compound called myristicin. In small doses, myristicin adds that warm, slightly sweet aroma we love. But in higher amounts, it acts as a nervous system stimulant and hallucinogen, meaning it can affect your heart rate, blood pressure, and even your brain chemistry. When consumed in excess, even just a teaspoon or two, nutmeg can trigger rapid heartbeat, increased blood pressure, dizziness, nausea, and confusion. That's because myristicin affects the same neurotransmitters that regulate mood and blood vessel tone. For seniors, whose circulation is already more sensitive, this sudden stimulation can strain the cardiovascular system, reducing blood flow to the brain and triggering stroke-like symptoms. A 2021 case review from the Journal of Clinical Toxicology found that adults over 55 who consumed high doses of nutmeg, often unknowingly in desserts or herbal blends, experienced temporary disorientation, elevated blood pressure, and irregular heartbeat lasting up to 24 hours. And because myristicin stays in the body longer in older adults, even small but repeated exposures can quietly build up and affect brain circulation over time. Another concern is how nutmeg interacts with antidepressants, antihypertensive drugs, and sedatives. Myristicin enhances serotonin and norepinephrine activity, the same brain chemicals targeted by many medications. That means if you're taking antidepressants, nutmeg can amplify their effects, potentially causing dangerous spikes in blood pressure or anxiety. And if you're on sedatives or sleep aids, nutmeg can counteract their calming effect, leading to restlessness or insomnia, both of which increase nighttime stroke risk. Nutmeg also thickens the blood slightly in moderate doses, but acts as a stimulant at higher levels, creating unpredictable shifts in blood pressure. This roller coaster effect can be particularly hard on aging arteries, especially if they're already stiff or narrowed from years of plaque buildup. So how can you use nutmeg safely without harming your circulation? Here's what experts recommend. Keep your intake under 1/4 teaspoon per day. Enough for flavor, not enough for risk. Avoid nutmeg entirely if you take antidepressants, sedatives, or blood pressure medication. Never add nutmeg to herbal tonics, smoothies, or teas in large amounts. Use it only as a baking spice, not a daily supplement or natural remedy. And if you ever feel dizzy, anxious, or flushed after eating something with nutmeg, avoid it completely in the future. Nutmeg may seem small, but it's powerful and unpredictable. What feels like a gentle flavoring can actually stress your brain and arteries in ways you don't feel until it's too late. So the next time you sprinkle a little on your dessert, remember, a pinch adds warmth, but a spoonful could quietly set your heart racing and your blood vessels struggling to keep up. Number 10. Paprika, the colorful seasoning that can raise morning blood pressure. Without you knowing it looks harmless, a bright red powder that adds color and warmth to soups, eggs, or roasted vegetables. Paprika feels like one of the safest spices in your kitchen. But for many older adults, especially those with high blood pressure or circulation problems, this colorful seasoning can quietly raise your blood pressure and strain your arteries, especially in the morning. Most people don't realize that not all paprika is the same. There are two main types: sweet paprika, made from milder peppers, and smoked, or spicy paprika, which comes from dried hot chilies. Both can be healthy in moderation, but many store-bought versions, especially prepackaged or seasoned paprikas, contain added salt, preservatives, and artificial flavor enhancers that can quietly turn your morning meal into a blood pressure trap. According to a 2022 survey by the American Journal of Nutrition and Aging, more than 60% of commercial paprika products sold in U.S. supermarkets contained added sodium levels ranging from 250 to 400 milligrams per teaspoon. That's about 15 to 20% of the recommended daily limit in just a small sprinkle. Now imagine using paprika in your scrambled eggs, breakfast potatoes, and soup. Suddenly, you've doubled your sodium intake before lunch. For seniors, this can be dangerous. Morning is when blood pressure naturally rises as your body wakes up. It's also the time when most strokes and heart attacks occur. Adding hidden sodium from paprika, especially when combined with other salty ingredients like cheese or bacon, can push blood pressure even higher, putting unnecessary strain on your heart and arteries. But sodium isn't the only issue. Smoked paprika, often used for its rich aroma, contains trace compounds from the smoking process, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, that can irritate blood vessel walls and increase oxidative stress. For aging arteries already weakened by years of plaque buildup, this extra stress can make vessels less flexible, reducing blood flow to the brain and increasing stroke risk over time. And for people who take blood pressure medication or diuretics, that extra sodium can interfere with the medicine's effectiveness, keeping your pressure higher even after taking your pills. So, how can you keep the flavor of paprika without the risks? Here's what doctors recommend. Choose pure, unsalted, sweet paprika. Always check the ingredient list. Avoid smoked, flavored, or grill-style paprikas that often contain additives. Use no more than 1/2 teaspoon per meal, especially if you're monitoring blood pressure. If you love the color, mix paprika with turmeric or cumin for a safer blend. And always drink a glass of water afterward to help your body balance sodium levels. Paprika can make your food beautiful, but beauty can be deceiving. For seniors, especially those managing blood pressure, even small amounts of hidden sodium can quietly undo days or weeks of careful diet control. So the next time you see that bright red powder on your table, take a second look. Flavor doesn't have to come with pressure. And when it comes to protecting your heart and brain, a little less color on your plate might just mean a lot more peace of mind. Every spice in your kitchen tells a story of healing, of warmth, of flavor shared around the dinner table. But as the years go by, even the healthiest ingredients can change the way they affect your body. What once protected your heart may now push it too far. What once gave you energy might now strain your circulation in ways you can't feel, until it's too late. That's the quiet truth about spices and aging. Your body becomes more sensitive. Your blood vessels lose some of their flexibility. Your liver processes food and medication a little slower. And suddenly, something as simple as an extra teaspoon of turmeric or a few shakes of pepper can tip the delicate balance between health and harm. It doesn't mean you need to fear food. It means you need to understand it and respect how your body has changed. Spices like turmeric, garlic, cinnamon, and ginger have incredible health benefits. But when mixed with certain medications or used too often, they can thin your blood, drop your pressure, or confuse your heart's rhythm. Others, like curry, cayenne, or paprika, can raise your blood pressure and overwork your arteries without you realizing it. And the scary part is that most of these effects don't happen all at once. They build quietly, day by day, until one morning something goes wrong. A sudden headache, dizziness, or loss of balance. And you realize your body has been trying to warn you all along. But here's the good news. Knowledge gives you control. By simply paying attention to how much you use, when you use it, and what you mix it with, you can keep every meal both safe and delicious. You can enjoy flavor without fear, and still protect your brain, your heart, and your circulation. So from now on, treat your spices the way you treat your medicine, with care, with awareness, and with gratitude. Because food isn't just fuel, it's chemistry. And after 60, chemistry matters more than ever. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, please subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone you care about, and remember, staying healthy isn't about giving things up. It's about learning what truly serves you now. Stay safe, stay balanced, and as always, take care of your heart so it can take care of you.